Okie dokie. We're back. We're back to the dragon game. Alright, let's see. Suppose there isn't too much to do. Welcome everyone, welcome to the stream. I know I am back later than I said I would be. I said I'd take like an hour. But got involved with my family. We ended up playing cards with each other, so that was fun. So yeah, that was good. Spending time with families was good. Alright, let us load into the game now. In just a second, I need to adjust the screen for a second. Okay, nice. Load. Chapter 3. We were going to meet with Remy now. Continue our, spending time with those who are closer to us during this playthrough. Alright, let's go. Let's go meet Remy. Ah. Hey Remy! Hello Yoshi. Is there any particular reason why you wanted to meet here? I enjoy Tatsu Park as all. Have you been here before? A few times. I think a few times by now. I see. Well, what do you think of it? Pretty idyllic. It's pretty romantic. I mean, it is pretty romantic, isn't it? Right, guys. You think so? Yeah, just look at those trees. Would make a nice spot for a date, really. I agree with that. You mentioned you wanted to talk to me about something. Yes, well, about that. I just have a lot on my mind, and I felt like I needed to tell someone. I wouldn't burden you if I had anyone else to talk to, but the simple fact is that I don't. Aw. Hey, you can talk to me, Remy. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's not a problem. What's on your mind? I don't even know where to begin. Oh? Do you ever feel like there is an emptiness inside you? That every day is the same, joyless routine that you wish you could escape, but you can't? I used to. I'd say back at my old job, I guess. Right? Kind of had that. Kind of like, I'd expect that I would have just had a job that just, just has this kind of feeling, I suppose that makes sense too. I used to. I see. Is this about Emma again? Well, it's not just about her, but working with her doesn't make things any easier. To think that just a few years ago I was the happiest I could have been, and now I have nothing but my miserable life. Oh? Would like to watch your broadcast. Shift and tap to view. Hold on guys. Just a second. Let me just save this for a sec. Okay, so I can oh nice. So apparently you can actually like broadcast your game or something. That's interesting. I never knew that was a thing you could do. On Steam, broadcasting through Steam. Hold on, let me ask him if it's running okay. Nice. Alright, so apparently I figured that out. Nice, so what? Click here to return to the game. Alright, so he's off to bed, he just wanted to test it out. Okie dokie. And now I have nothing but my miserable life. What happened? It's a long story. We have a lot of time. We have a lot of time. Okay, well, a few years ago, I worked in the public sector. I mean, I still do, but my position was a different one. I didn't work under a minister back then. I was part of a committee tasked with providing independent and factually backed opinions on community topics. It was supposed to help not only politicians, but also the general populace. Free from outside interference, we did our own fact-checking based on research and publicly reported our findings. Our individual members didn't always agree, but we made sure the end results were based on verifiable facts. In this way, we offered a variety of comprehensive opinions on difficult topics. We found the truth and allowed people and politicians to make up their minds from there. Our work was a key influence in the community, and because the conclusions of each individual member were often very different, it could never be said that we were biased. That's the thing. Where is everyone else that works around here? Hasn't mentioned anyone else yet. It was during one such assignment that I met a certain person named Amelia. My task was to determine the viability of several projects, each competing for a research grant from our council. Amelia was a member of one of the scientific teams vying for a grant. She was an inventor, and her group was looking for ways to streamline hospital processes and tests by utilizing new technology. The first time I saw her was when our committee watched our group's pitch. One of the things we had to do was determine whether their claims and goals were realistic. In her case, they were. Ultimately, they didn't get the grant, but when she recognized me in a restaurant a while later, we started talking. She was very smart, and I admired her spirit. She just wanted to help people with their talents, and in this way, she reminded me a lot of myself. We kept seeing one another, and we grew close. Before long, we were dating. It felt so right. I thought our relationship was about to become very serious, but then she informed me that her research group had applied for another grant. Of course, that complicated things. My committee was once again tasked with judging the viability of the different projects, and while I intended to stay impartial on the matter, she would probably be seen as an influence due to our relationship. With these concerns in mind, we decided to not meet again until the grant winner was determined. We hadn't expected her group to get it, but in the end, they did. We didn't want to end our relationship over something like that, and if word got out that we were together during the decision-making period, it would have put both our jobs in jeopardy. Aww. In the end, we decided to wait and made a commitment. 6 months after the grant was given to her team, we would return to one another and make our relationship public. That much time would have ensured that it wouldn't be an issue. We even made plans to move in together when that time came. But we never got that far. I only know the rest of what happened from various reports, but apparently, Amelia got sick. Nothing serious, mind you. She continued working from home as best as she could. The project was already behind schedule, and she didn't want to endanger it. People were critical and very curious about what the project would amount to, and she didn't want to be responsible for its failure, so she took some days off to recuperate. So, every day, she continued working on the project until the dead of night. One late evening, she went out to pick up her medication, in addition to something to help her stay awake, but she was sick and overworked. The combination of the prescription side effects and the supplements caused her to collapse. No one was around to see her fall. When she was found the next day, she was covered by a blanket of fresh snow. Oh no, Remy. It was too late. She froze to death during the cold winter night. If someone was with her, this would not have happened. But she died out there, all alone. All because we kept our relationship a secret. We had plans to move in together. We even talked about having our own small family. Some things are just not meant to be, it seems. If I had to identify the moment life started going downhill, losing Amelia would be it. My heart was ripped out in that moment, and now only emptiness remains. It's like a wound that never closes. This must feel awful. Being with someone and then just finding out that, if you had been public about what had been happening, then everything would have been okay. Maybe you saw those pictures in my apartment. Even my home is a reminder of her. We were going to move into that apartment together. And this time wearing, I got it from her as well. When she gave it to me, she said that it was red like her scales. As long as I wore it, she would be with me, in a way. For so long, I've been holding on to her with all my might. I wish I could stop, because I know it's killing me, but I've been doing it for so long that I don't think I can. Hey Rollclaw, welcome to the stream. Encountering a very sad moment at the moment. Still booting up or something. Oh jeez. I haven't been displaying the game the whole time. Oh my gosh. Well, it was mostly text anyway, so don't worry about it. I've been reading out. Okay, you know what? We can just go through it. So basically, if we go back, he was like, okay, I need to talk to you about something. Sounds like there should be more than a black screen. Yeah, sorry. The game's up now. That was silly. Sorry about that. This is my side? Oh, okay. So, no. It's up now. Yeah. Okay, so what happened is that he was like, oh, I need to talk to you about something. We're like, okay, sure, we're here. So if you want to go back and like pause the stream and read through this, then sure. I've been reading it out and stuff. Chat overlays aren't working either, it seems. Oh, that's strange. Yeah, it is up and running now, so, but yeah, I did forget to put it on. So, figured what, it was your side? Ah, I see. Okay, so what happened is basically, it's like, okay, he was working, and then he found someone named Amelia, and they had similar goals. And then, so if you want to go back and like on the archive, I'll have this screen up because before it wasn't up. So there's this screen, and there's all of this. And then Amelia and him, they were talking, and they, you know, they got close over time. And it was during here, each competing for a research grant from our council. And Amelia was a member of one of the other scientific teams that was vying for a grant. Inventor, her group was looking for new ways to streamline hospital processes and tests by utilizing new technology. So all of that happened, and then eventually, you know, they kept seeing each other, and then the whole grant thing happened once again. So there's that screen. So it wasn't displayed on the stream. Good thing this game can be scrolled back. And then they're like, hey, they don't want to end the relationship over something like this, so they plan to wait like 6 months. Then they'd meet again and they'd make their relationship public. But that moment never came, because what happened is that Amelia got sick and she didn't want to make it her fault that she had not, like, you know, if she had not been working, then the project would have like failed or something. So she kept overworking herself. But what happened is she kept working and working and working. But then, here it is, one late evening she went out to pick up her medication, in addition to something to help her stay awake, and she was sick and overworked. The combination of the prescription side effects and the supplement caused her to collapse. No one was around to see her fall. Might be for me for a short bit, unfortunately, a bit tired, I have a bunch of stuff to do tomorrow. Oh, that's fine, stay however long you want to, then you can get going and get some rest. Note found 2 ways to get pre-registered for PolyQuest PC. Oh, hi Russian Scythe, welcome. You're going to be salty that can... What requires one? Oh, how can you do it? Tunnel Bear, which is the easy one. So what happened is, yeah, she fell, she collapsed, and she was frozen to death. And, you know, he's like, hey, if someone was with her, then it wouldn't have happened. Yeah. Because they wanted to keep their relationship a secret. And he feels guilty, I suppose. Plans to move in together, talked about having our own small family. Some things are just not meant to be, it seems. If I had to identify the moment life started going downhill, losing Amelia would be it. I'll find their video from PC announcement. Run stuff to run it. Oh, yep. Only emptiness remains, like a wound that never closes. Maybe you saw those pictures in my apartment? Even my home is a reminder of her. We're going to move into that apartment together. This time wearing, got it from her as well. She gave it to me. She said it was red like her scales. Well, as he wore it, she'd be with me in a way. For so long I've been holding on to her with all my might. Wish I could stop because I know it's killing me, but I've been doing it for so long that I don't think I can. That video on YouTube. Oh. Alright, so that's where we were at. Sorry, caught you guys up, hopefully. Yet in some way, holding on to Amelia has helped me. When I look back on all the happy memories we made, Emra's bullying hurts a little less, if only because those memories hurt so much more. And I would love my job if it wasn't for Emra. It's a constant struggle, a battle I have to fight every day. Each of her words slices through me, creating new wounds on top of others that never closed. It's awful. Japanese username. Some days I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't know how much longer I can. Oh. Poor Remy. I feel so sorry for him. Not sure if there is anything that can fill the void. Have you ever spoken to a professional about this? No, I don't think I could. Not with a stranger. Thank you, Yoshi. Getting all that off my chest already helped a lot. No problem, Remy. Remy paused and gave me an embarrassed smile. Quite a bit of time has passed since you arrived, and you've barely been able to speak. I've been talking a lot. I don't mind. There must be a lot on your mind, too. Not really. There is, I suppose. I don't want to bother him. He's been talking a lot about his own personal problems. I don't want to make him worried about us. Very complicated. Second wave was the only way you were able to, huh? Unless you're living in Japan, yep. Not really. Since I work with Emra, I know all the details surrounding you and Riza. Not many do. Many rumors are going around town. All this time, you've been working with our police? Yeah. And now you're hunting the person who was supposed to be your partner. That must be really hard for you. I came here because I wanted to do the right thing. Nothing about that has changed. What kind of person is Riza anyway? The kind that stops at nothing to achieve what he believes in. I can see that. You've already witnessed just how far he will go. What do you think about him? Honestly, I'm not sure. Back home, this relentless quality of him was admired, but I certainly don't condone his actions. Given what I know about him, I think he must have a reason, as weird and twisted as it may be. Generally odd business plan. It's kind of, well, I mean, they only expect, a lot of, I mean, I guess they noticed the fact that there's English players on, but, they're targeting the Japanese audience. And what about you? I have my own principles. I see. How's your hunt for Riza going anyway? Not too great. We don't have any strong leads or any idea of his whereabouts. In the end, we're just following his trail of murder and destruction. People are getting afraid. The rumors are starting to take effect. I thought Emra was going to give a press conference to warn the public. That didn't happen. She feared the potential backlash if people knew about Riza while you're still here, so for the time being, he has been declared as a missing person. It's hard on Yoshi since we never actually got any backstory for Yoshi and Riza's relation. That's true, our relation actually never got a thing, we've already gotten some backstory about how dark everything was, and the fact that we had to deal with the loss of humanity or whatever, and having to rebuild from where we were, but it's interesting that we don't have that much information on us and Riza. The public has been informed that if someone sees him, they are to call the police immediately. They were told he may be suffering from an affliction that makes him behave erratically. Some people are putting two and two together. No one has seen Riza for a while, even before he was officially declared missing. It's easy to line up the timelines and see that the murder started happening shortly after he vanished. What we know about the break-ins and thefts is also damning. The objects stolen all point toward Riza. I'm not sure how much longer they can keep this a secret. How do you think the public will react, considering that I'm still staying here? I don't know. We can't really predict the public opinion, but you can bet there will be critical voices. I'm not sure how I could convince everyone that I'm not involved with Riza's plans. Well, you do have the council support. If Amra voiced that you were on our side, it wouldn't be so bad if the public found out. Yeah, but she also made it clear that she believes most people won't have the same opinion. She won't support me publicly if their vote is against me. That is true. Emra plays the political game a lot. She aligns with the popular opinion, so people will like her. That's very dishonest. It is, but that's who she is. Does the public know about the portal's current state? No. If it can be fixed, it wouldn't be worth mentioning. And if they can't fix it, they aren't going to announce it before they know how to deal with the current situation. Compared to Riza, it's not really a problem. It might become one pretty soon. If word gets out and suddenly he's accomplice, what would happen to me? How would you even deal with Riza if you caught him? I'm not sure. I suppose we'd have to work something out between our legal system and whatever humanity has to say on the matter. And if the portal is done for, what then? Then humanity would be out of the picture for any legal proceedings. Riza would likely be held until contact has been re-established or just serve his sentence here. I see. How do your jails work anyway? I'm going to send some emails off to lectures so I can get into classes. Everything's full? Alright. Good luck with whatever you're doing then. Well, if a crime has been committed and proven without a doubt, a jail sentence can be the consequence. Our delinquents live in an area separate from the rest of society, monitored at all hours of the day. They receive the help they need, and efforts are taken to make them realize their wrongdoings and integrate them back into our community. Life isn't that much different than it is here. The spaces are more cramped for sure, but mostly it's just a very controlled environment. That's not much of a punishment. It is a consequence, not necessarily a punishment. Our society at large benefits more from people who are rehabilitated, and if mental issues are the cause, those can at least be found and addressed. See ya? Alrighty, see ya later. Rest well. That sounds like how it used to be back home. These days in our city, you get 3 strikes. What does that mean? 3 infractions of our rules and you get thrown out of the city. If someone is a drain on our limited resources, we won't support them. While I can understand why you need to incorporate such a policy, the finality of it makes me a bit uneasy. It has worked so far, and it's not as if the outside is completely unkind. Someone expelled from the city might find a different community or join one of the mobile groups. The situation inside our city-state is still much better than the outside though. They're very strict with those allowed to live there. It's a privilege. Anyone or anything that threatens the inside society or the lives of its people is removed very quickly. How would a murderer like Riza be dealt with? An eye for an eye? No, we don't do that, but murder is a crime so heinous that immediate expulsion is the consequence, regardless of prior infractions. That's heinous, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. You know, like of Japan and America, they don't really care about the audience, at least most Japanese companies don't care about the audience. Yeah, although, you know, the localization and everything, it's bringing light out here, so things are going alright. With how Koi Tetris is going, especially with the whole, like, PC version now coming out, although we kind of didn't care about the Japanese and when it came to that the PC port, so oh well. I see. What do the citizens think about the system? Some agree with the methods, some don't, but as long as it works, people won't complain. Weeding out into undesirable elements is what keeps their standard of living intact. I guess that means politics don't play a big role where you come from. No, they won't change a working system. It varies here, but I'm so tired of Emra and her games. As I work with her, I can see exactly how she plays the public. I know every council member has their own approach, but everything she does is so tailored towards the public's expectations. For her, it's just a popularity contest. You know what? That gives me an idea. Really? What is it? The human visit and all of the associated consequences are her responsibility, right? Yes. For her, this situation with Riza must be utterly horrifying. She keeps talking about preventing public backlash, but she's really just trying to protect herself. That sounds accurate. Maybe we can use that to our advantage. How? She can't send me back to my world right now. That makes me the only one here with knowledge of Riza, and humans in general. That's true. If I speak from this point of authority, we would have a much easier time convincing her of anything we want. You couldn't convince her to let you stay in our world, though. Yes, but I was trying to use reason and plead with her. I didn't take into account her fear of public backlash. I think we can manipulate this fear of hers and use it to our advantage. If there were consequences to fear from Riza, me, or the rest of humanity, and those consequences would make her look bad to the public, that would be reason for her to reconsider any action, right? Sounds like every politician ever. Yeah, of course. I suppose so, but what situation could this apply to? She nearly sent me back through the portal. If she tries anything again, at least we have something we can use against her. I think I see where you're coming from. Riza is still a mystery to me though. All things considered, wouldn't it be beneficial for him to just stay here? No offense, but even our prisons offer a better standard of living than your city. As such, couldn't there be a reason for him to have vandalized the portal? I don't think so. You're right, your world is in much better shape than ours, but even if Riza could stay here, he wouldn't. He came here for the same reason I did, to help our people. He has a very pronounced sense of duty to humanity, and I believed in him when he stepped through the portal. He proclaimed that he would do everything he could. When I met him again in this world, I had the impression that he wanted to get our mission over with as soon as possible so he could return to our world with aid. That's gonna be difficult with the portal out of order. The person who did it probably didn't realize it wasn't a very good idea. This might make Riza even more desperate. Who knows what he will do next? And if anything happens, I can't leave either. If the portal is gone for good, I suppose you'd have to stay here. What do you think about that? That wouldn't be so bad. That wouldn't be so bad. Of course I still want to help our city, but if there was no way to return, I wouldn't mind living here. I see. Only now do I realize that everything I told you earlier must seem so petty compared to the struggles you face. Don't say that. We all have our own struggles? No, just... we need to... You know, don't say that. Why not? That's not how it works. That's like saying a person can't be happy because someone else might be happier than them. Don't downplay your own suffering like that. That kind of thinking only makes it worse. Yeah, that's the kind of direction I was going for. Thanks, Yoshi. I can't even imagine what my life must be like where you are from. Back home, I was just trying to survive and help others do the same. That hasn't changed. I'm almost afraid of going back to the city though. Times are rough. Yet even if I didn't have to go back, I would. I can't just let them down like that, you know? I have to try and do what I can. That's why I came here. I wish I could be that strong. Oh my gosh, you can't deal with it? Jeez. Who says you can't? Right? I don't know, You told me about your old job. Yeah, I miss those days. What about it? It's not exactly the same as saving a city, but you were helping people, right? That's true. Maybe once your term with Emma is over, you could do something like that again. I really wish I could. Can I ask you a question? Of course. Do you even like me? There must be a reason why you put up with me for this long. What are you talking about? Do you consider me a friend, or maybe more? Didn't read too much into it. I mean, I like it. You know, we want to help him with his struggles, and he's pretty cute. I like you as more than just a friend. Yeah? Is that so? In that case, well, the summer festival is coming soon. It's an event we hold in town every year. They've got fireworks and all kinds of shows. It might be fun for you to experience a different part of our culture. What do you say? Would you like to accompany me? I'd love to, but I can't promise I won't have other obligations at the time. I see. Well, I'll call you and we'll see if we can work it out around our schedules. Sure thing. Then it's settled. I probably should get going now though. Thanks for hearing me out, Yoshi. Likewise. Oh, nice. So that's really good, huh? Happiness. Is it... Loss. Ooh, chapter 4. The moon is getting like... It's going through the faces, isn't it? I think so. Getting on a bit of a closer level to Remy, it seems. Alright. New day. I awoke with my eyes fixed on the ceiling wallpaper. A sense of dread lingered from a nightmare I no longer remembered. How many more times would I see this apartment before I returned to my own world, or before something happened to me? I got ready for the day and tried to shake off those thoughts. Sebastian? Yep, of course. Hey, Yoshi. And right on the minute. You show up at this time every day, like clockwork. Clocks are reliable, and reliable is good in this line of work. I've got something for you. An envelope from the facility. Oh, these are the results from the test Anna ran on my blood. She must have sent this before she was... No, it's no use thinking about that now. Maybe the test results will be able to help us. Let's see. Remarkable similarities in genetic makeup, particularly the brain structure. Oh, I suppose this isn't the only reason you're here. Chief will explain everything once we get there. Let's not keep him waiting, shall we? Oh dear. Oh dear. What's going on now? Don't tell me it's another bad thing. Oh no, it's this music. Oh no. Scaly's interpretation of the human world, happy, peaceful, and social, real world betrayal, edginess from young people, introvertedness, and in some cases, the showcase of total suffering. That was a bit dark. I mean, our place in the game isn't exactly a happy place either. That's kind of why we're sent here. But if we're talking about this world seems pretty nice. Until this happened. We arrived at a place that would look like an ordinary house had it not been for its extraordinary size. It reminded me more of a hostel than a family home. Chief. There you are. Wait, weren't you supposed to be with Emerald? Luckily, she doesn't work every day of the week. I see. Anyway, we're nearly done here, so I'll keep it short. Reza broke into the hatchery. There was another murder victim, an employee of the hatchery who was on night duty. Her body was found quite away from here. There's evidence of a struggle, but she covered a lot of distance before it was ultimately over. Loud bangs were heard from the area her body was found, and she has numerous wounds consistent with both the wounds of the previous victims and that other weapon he has. By this point, news of another corpse didn't have the same impact anymore. She was just another one of Reza's faceless victims. Yeah. A hatchery? Is this what this building is? Well, not only. It's a council-owned building, and they like keeping everything related to their sector under the same roof. So besides the hatchery, there's also an orphanage and a family clinic inside. There are also offices related to the administration of those services. It reminds me of the production facility. It should. They have a similar management structure. Can we get back to the case? Sorry for the interruption, Chief. Wait a minute, if an orphanage is in there too... There are no other casualties, but Reza got something else when he broke in. A generator, as well as a few eggs. Luckily, the power was restored before anything happened until the other eggs left inside, but needless to say, the parents of the stolen eggs are not going to be happy. Why would he steal eggs in the first place? Maybe you can tell us. That's why you're here after all. I don't know. I have no idea what he would even do with them. Maybe he wants to use them as a bargaining chip. After all, he still has to make his escape and the portal is still broken. Do you think he wants to exchange them for safe passage through the portal? Here's your question now, you in the city. Also, why are you playing this game? Hey Zio, welcome to the stream. No, I'm in Adelaide. Why am I playing this game? Because it's cool. Because why not? Because dragons are cool. Maybe. It's still broken though, so I'm not sure if that would be much help. Maybe he has the part needed to repair it, and now has everything he needs to escape. He could trade eggs for safe passage, fix the portal and leave. That's not the only possibility. He may not be the one who broke the portal. Maybe he thinks you've intentionally sabotaged it so he can't leave, and he feels he needs the eggs as bargaining chip to get you to repair it. If he just wanted to leave, I feel like he could have done that already. This Poipo switch Tawny, Adelaide, wreck everyone, prize with money. Swap mode. Switch Tawny. I know there's an Adelaide Tawny that is supposedly going to be on PS4, March 7th. I know that's a thing. Is that what you're referring to? But I didn't know about the prize money. Yeah, I announced the tournament on my Twitter. It doesn't even matter who sabotaged the portal. We only know that Reza's actions are becoming more and more desperate. Not switches in Adelaide? Might be that one? Yeah, apparently it's because I know the person who's like helping organize everything, and they're bringing in a PS4, like PS4 copy of the game. So yeah, you better come to since it's so far away. Oh well. It was on Hard Drop Twitter. Really? Oh, so maybe they tweeted it out as well. Let me check that. Anyway, he kidnapped defenseless eggs and even used a human weapon. Something's clearly going on with him. Maybe it means that he'll slip up soon. Yeah, maybe. It's weird, so if he's using the gun now, then there's no doubt that he's involved in this somehow. But the cuts... I still don't know what the cuts are all about. Hold on, let me look at the Hard Drop Twitter. Let's see if it's the same name. Got retweeted. Are you gonna go and wreck people? Yes. As long as my dad is not working on that day, then like, or not having a afternoon shift, then we should be all good. Yeah, that's the same tournament. That's right. Woo! Alethea is the one that let me know. Alright. Who knows, maybe he already has. In any case, we're done here. Let's head back to the department and decide what to do next. Hopefully, some of the test results will tell us something. Yeah, hopefully. This one, hype, is it getting streamed? Unless we can find a way to, I don't think so, because I'm not running the event or anything. If Alethea finds a way, then that'd be awesome. After a brief walk, we were in Bryce's office again. Initial test results had already come in, but didn't reveal any insightful or new information. So, what do we do now? Go over the timeline again? Not yet. There are a few things I'd like to take care of first. What do you have in mind? Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Is it Maverick? Let's see. Come in. Maverick, what are you doing here? It is Maverick. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be. Chief, can I talk to you alone? I'm quite busy here, Maverick. What is this about? Reza. We're looking at the Reza task force, so if you have anything to say, you can say it in front of all of us. I see. I think I know where Reza is. You know where Reza is at this very moment? I have good reason to believe that I have located his hideout. He could still be there, or he might have already moved on. Darn, Maverick, tell me everything. We can stream via PS4, that's what I thought. I've been tracking him for a while now. When he was at the portal a few days ago, I nearly got him and managed to follow him for a while before I lost him. Based on that, where he's been and where his victims have been found, I could triangulate his whereabouts. He has to live somewhere, right? He needs a base to hide generators and everything he has stolen. Bryce cleared out the clutter on his table and smoothed out a map of the town on its surface. It already had a few locations related to the case marked on it. Show it to me. Prior victims were found here and here. Today's was here. She was following him, likely because she wanted to save the eggs he stole. This is the path he took from the portal when I followed him a few days ago. So we have established this as his area of operation. Extrapolate it, and we can narrow it down to this. Now, where could he be hiding in this area? He's certainly not within the village borders, so unless he's decided to live in the wilderness or in a hole in the ground, the only option is here. Yes, stream, you adolescent. Of course. I didn't think that old. Like Alethea said, university friends, so I'd assume they're like just a little bit older. Like, I don't know, a couple years older than me. I'm hoping I'm not like super young and everyone else is much older, so that'd be a bit weird. The abandoned farm. When did you figure all of this out? Just a few minutes ago. When I did, I immediately came here. Wow, this might be it. Should we send an observation team? As if we had one to spare. Heck, we're not going there right now. What about you, Maverick? I'm still on sick leave, remember? Besides, if I saw Reza right now, I'd probably do something I shouldn't. How about you, Yoshi? Isn't this gonna be dangerous? Reza probably won't harm you, as you're the only one he could possibly consider an ally. Good point. If anything, with you there, we might be able to convince him to give up. We could act like we intended to trade you for the eggs if he tries to use them as a bargaining chip. You're not really gonna use me as a ransom, right? Yes, I'm in high school. I'm 15 years old. You're 11. We'll see about that. I suppose if it's necessary, I'll have to play along. I've got your back. If there's one thing we could do to make this whole situation even worse, it would be messing up with you. You have the element of surprise if you walk into his base right now, but we risk Reza lashing out with his weapon. If you want to resolve this peacefully, observation is probably the way to go. I guess we won't need Yoshi there for that, though. True enough. Alright, Yoshi, you stay here and wait for further instructions. We may need you at a moment's notice. Don't do anything without us telling you to. Understand? Okay. Alright then. Let's go, Sebastian. After you, Chief. Maverick? Good job. Thanks, Chief. Maverick, though. Shortly after they vanished, Maverick also turned to leave. So don't get salty anymore. Then I have to wait. Bryce and Sebastian were observing the farm now. If anything new happened, I'd be the first to know. So I'm going to show up. I spent some time looking around Bryce's office, studying all the material he had gathered about the case, even though there wasn't any information that I didn't already know. That would be embarrassing if all the other participants were adults. I mean, university age. Youngest that I know of, so it's not going to be like the worst thing ever. Besides, if I go up to them and be like, ha, I'm best at this game, they'll be like, whoa, something. I don't know. Little kid. Good at the game. After a few hours, the telephone in his office rang, and not sure whether the call was intended for me or Bryce, I picked up. Oh, telephone in his office rang after a few hours. Jeez, it's a while. They probably would be. I don't know. We'll see. Yoshi? Yes. I think you need to come here. I'll give you the directions. No problem. Alright, here we go. There you are. So, what happened? A whole lot of nothing. There's no movement to or from the building in the time we've been watching. He usually operates during the night, so maybe he's just asleep? In that case, it'd be best for us to go in before he has a chance to make his escape. Maybe he's not even in there anymore. He could have seen us and slipped away unnoticed, with plenty of time to destroy the evidence while we've been waiting here. You're right. Either he's still inside, or he's already gone and not coming back. Let's go in. What should I do? You're coming with me. Sebastian, you walk around and watch the back of the building, just in case he tries to escape. I'm on it, Chief. Alright. I go in and you stay here, alright? What am I even here for then? You're our insurance. If Reza tries to flee and sees you, it might throw him off. You might be able to stop him. Or if we get into a standoff, I can tell him you're here as well. I just don't want you to come inside when it could become dangerous. If we go through another playthrough, we'll go through the actions that lead to the actions where we're not going along with what they tell us to do. Like, the note tell us not to go outside when they were shooting, like when there were gun sounds at the portal, so we decided to stay inside. I think for this playthrough, we'll just we'll obey the instructions that we've been given. Alright. I watched as Bryce made his way to the front door. Looking around, I scanned the windows of the building for any sign of movement. When Bryce reached the door, I wondered how he would make his entry. Would he try to be quiet and sneak around, hoping to find Reza unprepared? Or would he barge in and rely on his strength and speed to apprehend him? Though, shortly after Bryce opened the door, an earth-shattering sound echoed across the sky. What the? Bryce! Oh my. Oh. We're just getting everyone killed by not taking action. This is awful. You should probably agree with him since Reza might be a bit aggressive and is dead. I can never touch his 20 touchdown. There's only maybe one child max. Well, that'd have to be me. But I can't believe it's really hard. What would happen if I had gone first? I wouldn't have died because that would, right? I don't think I would have died. No. So did we just run away? I'm sorry, Yoshi. I just don't know what to say. Neither do I. All the responsibility falls on me now. And Reza is still out there somewhere. This case is just beyond our capabilities. We were already at a bare minimum before this, but with Bryce gone, I just don't know what we should do now. Teach room, but once again I can't join. Right. I've already requested help from one of the cities. I hope they'll send some good investigators our way as soon as possible. At least we've reclaimed everything that was stolen. Oh, that's good then. Well, except for the eggs. I don't want to have to explain to the parents how their children were killed in the explosion. Oh no, more. That's just awful. All of the generators were just sitting inside there. Makes me think that Reza must have left in a hurry. If it even was Reza, right? I still don't know if this is Reza or not, because I don't know. We just don't have enough information on him from the start of the game. So we don't know if he's this kind of person or not. We got so close too. It was his hideout, for crying out loud. He probably just saw us approaching and left before we even had the chance to apprehend him. But you know what? We can't stop now. If anything, this has only proven that he's even more dangerous than we thought. If Reza can make bombs out of generators, who's to say what he'll use them next? Where he'll use them next? You have to stop him, Yoshi. Are you with me? Yes. Regardless of Bryce's death, we have to try our best to proceed with the investigation, for his memory and for the sake of the town. At least Riza doesn't have any generators, for now. All the stolen ones were accounted for inside the building. Alright, let me see what else we have. When we searched the building, we found more than the things Riza stole. We also found this bloody bandage. Do you think that's his? That's what we need to find out. But given all that we know, it probably is. So he's wounded. We know that he was injured during the fight with his first victim, but whether this is from the same wound or something else, I'm not sure. In any case, you could bring it into the lab for us to find out more. Sure. Next, we have a witness who reported hearing loud bangs during the night. We'd like to send someone to make a follow-up visit. You'll need to confirm the witness statement, then see if he has anything new to share. Also, now that we have reclaimed your PDAs, we're going to send one to the archives for analysis. Since they have experience with the human artifacts, they're better suited to do it than any of our departments. It is becoming worse and worse. That's why we've got to get to the bottom of this. No problem. In any case, I'll just leave everything here until I get to it, so feel free to do these tasks as you wish. I know it's laughable that we don't even have a free hand for simple errands. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave the stuff for you here and I'll take care of the rest once I get back, alright? Sure thing. Good luck. You too. Take the PDA to the library. Let's go do that first. Doesn't look like Remy is here. Excuse me? Can I help you? Do you know where the audio section is? I'm looking for some sheet music. Sorry, I have no idea. I don't even work here. Don't worry about it. The staff will seem to be hiding somewhere. Anyway, have a good day. You too. Okay. Maybe Remy is somewhere in the back or in his office. Oh, hello? You know, this section is usually for staff only. I'm just looking for Remy. I'm supposed to drop off this PDA. Well, he is not working today. Apparently he has other engagements. If you need to find him, you can probably do so at his home. Can I just leave the PDA here? Oh, I'm not going to take responsibility for this if it gets lost. If you want to drop it off, go find him. Okay. By the way, I hope you do not take it personally that I tried to send you away. To be honest, I'm glad that you're still here. Remember, I said that I believed you when you told me your side of the story. I always have to do what is in the public's best interest, and now they will not blame me if you have any connection with Riza. I hope you can understand that. Guess what? We already talked about that. So we know. We get it. Here's Remy's address in case you need it. Thank you. Although we already went to go meet him anyway, didn't we? Yeah, this is his house. Oh, hello, Yoshi. What are you doing here? I came by to give you this. I was already at the library, but Emma refused to let me drop it off there. I see. Hey, it's one of your PDAs. I told you one would find its way to me eventually. Yep, and now you can look at all the human knowledge you want. You have no idea how much I'm looking forward to that. I may not be working today, but I'm still going to check it out as soon as possible. I'm just going to leave you to it then. Thanks. Enjoy. Awesome. That's easy enough. Take the bandage to the facility, visit the witness. Let's go visit the witness and see if there's any information on... Oh? Ipsum. Oh, it's you. Can I help you? Yeah, I'm working with the police and hope you could answer a few questions. Because I responded to your call for witnesses about last night, right? Yeah. Alright, what do you want me to know? Can you tell me what happened? Sure, I was running an experiment in my home laboratory and waiting for it to finish. Around 2 AM, I suddenly hear a few bangs outside. They remind me of small explosions. It sounded like they were coming from just around the corner. I see. Did anything about this seem unusual to you? Not really. I know I've caused a few similar disturbances with my experiments before. If someone else decided to take up my home experimentation, they suddenly have my approval. Does not sound good, other engagement. This is only an omen for bad news. Remy says I was really worried. Yeah, it's fine. Remy is safe. If anything happened to him, it'd be very, very disappointing. Besides, I wasn't in any position to abandon the experiment that was running at the time, or else it could have had a similar outcome. Thank you. I think that will be all. No problem. By the way, are you going to meet with Lorem again anytime soon? I don't know. Why are you asking? You've hung out with him a few times now. You see, he doesn't have many friends, and I think he's starting to like you. Oh geez, we have 2 dragons that are like, That's not really unusual. It's just, if something happens the next time you meet, Don't be mad at him, okay? Okay. Just, okay. So we get a few different dialogue options based on who we've visited. So, right? Like, with who what's his face? The Damien. If we had met with, Anna, then perhaps Damien would have been more open to us. Yeah, that's interesting, man. Thanks for your help. I'll take care of the remaining tasks, so you can take the rest of the day off. I'm sure you have things to do other than helping the police department. It's no problem, really. My trip to your world wasn't supposed to be a vacation. Alright then, I'll see you next time. See you. Alright, and as always, we just go through, like, the dramatic parts of the story, and then, go through one of the characters' scenes, and then when we come back, we go through the other character scene, and then we go through the start of the chapter again, and then the first scene. So we did, like, right? That's what we've been doing this whole time, I'm pretty sure, right? Do a character scene, have the big plot element, and then another character scene. Right, should I cook something or order out? When I returned to the living room, I suddenly found my strength leaving me and collapsed to the floor. Oh wait, hold on. Did I miss anything? I swear I missed something. Oh, okay. After this fateful day, I was glad to finally have some sort of respite. I wandered into the kitchenette to consider tonight's dinner. Oops. If I... Oh. Oh no. Has no friend, sounds like he might be a bit clingy. I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried about what's happening here. If you don't take a break... Right, because we've been... Oh, have we just been up the whole time? Have we taken no rest at all? No, we've been sleeping between that. Oh, no. Next thing I saw was a blurry stone ceiling. As my eyesight slowly returned, I managed to sit up. I was in a cave, and before me stood a familiar, mysterious face. I apologize for the violence, but I can assure you, it was the easiest way. Where am I? Is this your hideout? Just a temporary accommodation, so we can be undisturbed for this meeting. Someone else used to live here until recently. Do you know who I am? Oh, you're not Reza. Good. What did it take for you to figure that out? Since you're not whispering anymore, I can hear it clearly in your voice. I had a feeling that you couldn't be him since the first time we met, though. Oh, okay, it's not whispering. No. Okay, it's not Reza. Which first time are you talking about? The generator in the cellar, when you pushed me. I see. You can call me the, administrator. No other humans are supposed to be here, though. I assume that's why you're wearing the mask. You don't want to be recognized. That is correct. So, this guy's a human too. Did this guy... The story of the human that got turned into a dragon. Maybe they did turn into the dragon and this is the human here, and they're doing something here. Right? Whoever you are, you also saved my life. On more than one occasion. Your presence here doesn't make any sense. You couldn't have come through the portal. The dragons would have noticed. I think this might be the guy, right? Make sure you have a gun for self-defense. This is where you're wrong. My arrival through the portal is what led the dragons to discover it in the first place. Ooh. Is that so? When I crawled out from the hole in the earth that hid the portal, there were no guards to discover me. My appearance exposed the portal, but the dragons didn't know it was there yet. So you arrived even before Reza. It makes you the actual first human to come to this world. That is more true than you might think. Just who are you then? Is the original human? Is he? I may have arrived through the portal like you, but my story is very different. Oh, okay. Tell me about your story. Before the fall of humanity, I was an engineer. I was part of a team that was formed to create bioweapons. This might not be the guy then. Okay, we'll see. Our task was to create these bioweapons in a country where their development hadn't yet been regulated or outlawed. These weapons were planned to be a low-cost alternative for poor countries to wage war, so that they no longer have to rely on expensive drones and machines for warfare. I was to set up the lab where our bioweapon development would take place. It was a clandestine operation, set to be in the middle of the wilderness. The laboratory was the independent research and living unit, and provided everything we needed without having to rely on external resources or even an existing power grid. Everything was to be teleported right into the middle of nowhere, with no traces or paper trail to follow, so international communities and law enforcement would have no idea of our operations. Our only connection to the outside world after setup would have been a two-way portal to our headquarters, who would provide everything we needed. While we already could teleport individual people, teleporting a whole building was another matter entirely. Our solution was matter compression technology, incredibly expensive, but operating in the grey market was also very lucrative. That'll get a long story, be very afraid. Yeah, the scariest thing is the fact that we could fall asleep during this. The technology behind it was much more complicated than even teleportation, despite being based on it. While teleportation works by utilizing black holes with a beginning and an end, compression technology relies on a loop, keeping matter in a sort of limbo state until the loop is broken. Working with black holes was very complicated to begin with, but this shape required much more finesse and thus was much more expensive. I was to be sent alone to set up the lab and the portal so the rest of the team could arrive safely. In case you didn't know, it is possible to use a portal to send someone to a previously defined endpoint. Therefore, it is not required to have a portal at the destination to be sent there, but as you can imagine, this is also very dangerous. A single variable off by a fraction could mean the difference between landing safely at your destination and smothering in space. Of course, my employer did not want anything like that to happen, not necessarily for my own sake, but because of all the unfathomably expensive equipment I had with me. Regardless, something went wrong anyway. Despite all their checks and safeguards, they could only minimize the risk so much. Even if the risk was a fraction of a fraction, sometimes you were just that unlucky. And sometimes, it turns out that your bad luck is a blessing in disguise. I arrived safely somewhere in the jungles of Earth, yet it was not the destination that had been planned. I knew something was off, but nevertheless I set to work immediately. At the very least, I could prepare for the building. I would have shelter, and then I could begin preparations for our project. Getting the portal into working order would take more time, as it was a complicated process that could take several weeks. If things had gone wrong as I suspected, I would at least be able to establish contact with headquarters after the portal had been set up, and I would be able to return. While teleporting the lab to the wrong location was suddenly a costly mistake, I was still lucky to have my life. Before long, I discovered the truth about the place I had arrived. While I was still on Earth, it was not the Earth I knew. It was the Earth of 65 million years ago. Whoa. We knew that by utilizing black holes for teleportation, time travel was a theoretical possibility. It was something even my company didn't dare to attempt though, as teleportation in itself was still a very new technology. But here I was, 65 million years in the past, with a research station all to myself. The company would revel in the opportunity to study and profit from all the different life forms I could see. If only they knew about that. I spent a few weeks setting up the portal as planned, yet when I tried to re-establish connection with my employer, I was met with silence. Despite the time discrepancy, the portal should have been able to find my companies in the present. Okay. For a black hole, sending something through time is no different than sending something through space. However, when we built the portals, we gave them a specialized configuration. It was only possible to travel through space by aligning them across the time axis. That meant that I, in the past, would still be able to search for portals in the present to connect with. My counterparts in the present, though, would not be able to find me in the past, even if they tried. But I couldn't find them. Not a single one. Even after checking the portal for its function, I determined that, for all intents and purposes, the portals from the company should have been there to connect with. It was then that I had a terrible realization. The portals in the present didn't exist anymore, or were no longer operational. Maybe the blunder of teleporting the lab caused them to reconsider the risks of using this technology. After all, it was already controversial and had been outlawed in several countries. I wouldn't have been surprised if they decided to cut their losses, but it was highly unlikely that they would have immediately shut down every single portal and left me stranded without notice. Portal technology was still being relied on in several places in the present. In my mind, only one possibility remained: superweapons. Various nations had been using them as bargaining chips for some time. I didn't think the threats had become that serious. One of them must have launched a weapon and destroyed the majority of Earth. Could have been the result of a malfunction. Or perhaps the political situation had escalated. Either way, it was not possible for me to establish any means of communication to find out what had really happened. I could have sent myself back into the present with the right coordinates, but this was a risky endeavor, and I also had to ask myself if it was the present I wanted to return to. I was sure that if anything was even left of our world, the aftermath or a possible retaliatory strike would take care of the rest. In the end, I had to realize that whichever present did exist was likely not one that was worth returning to. It made my decision all the easier. Instead of returning to a destroyed civilization, I saw an opportunity. Rather than creating bioweapons, I could use the lab to create a new civilization, shaped by my own ideals. I had all the necessary data and the most modern methods and machines at my fingertips. Besides, most of the processes had already been automated. In the end, I still used the lab for what it had been created for, using human and animal DNA to create beings that were mostly animal but possessed a greater intelligence that allowed them to learn whatever we wanted them to. As I didn't have any animal samples sent with me when I initially arrived, I collected them from the sources available to me. Automated processes mixed the DNA further across the samples. New abilities were added like enhanced armor, flight, and spit weapons to make the new creatures more effective in combat. Fascinating. The result was a number of different species, each tailored and optimized to fill a specific role in a war situation. Hormones allowed me to speed up their growth, and with the lab's learning program, they could be educated in whatever manner I saw fit. My first concern was self-sufficiency. They needed the kind of knowledge that would enable them to come together as their own independent society. Luckily, the AI that automated all the processes in the lab was more than helpful. I unleashed the first generation of my creation, and, as their leader, founded our first village. I thought we could really pull it off. Once I saw that they could survive without my guidance, and also govern themselves, I knew my plan was a success. When I realized that this new society would eventually be destroyed, I told myself that I would do anything I could to save it. Destroyed? What are you talking about? Is this what Reza was going on about? Did Reza meet this guy and that's why he was warning us? Haven't you realized where we are? The Chicxulub asteroid is headed for us. With a diameter of over 10 kilometers, its impact would create humongous clouds of dust, throwing Earth into a literal dark age. They will block out the sunlight for over a year, killing off many species of plants that rely on photosynthesis to survive. As a result, animals that eat those plants will also vanish, as will those who sought sustenance from these herbivores. Oh no. The first generation of my oh, did I say that? Oops. Was that what I said? Sorry if I read something wrong. All in all, 75 of all species will vanish, and in terrestrial ecosystems, all animals heavier than a single kilogram will die. That'd be 2.2 pounds in case you didn't know. Well, yeah, I do know because we're not weirdos. It's pounds. It will be the end of everyone who lives here. Every single dragon you have seen. Unless we do something. What am I supposed to do? Do you not wish to save them? Did he grab the eggs so that they could be, like, safe? No, they didn't grab the eggs, did they? Right? To save them, you have to, like, hide the eggs in a safe location and then rehatch them. But then everyone else dies. I came here to help humanity. Now you tell me that this society, this whole world, is also on the brink of extinction? That is the truth. Oh my... What? What kind of difference could a single person like me even make to save it? Right now, it's also a single person that represents its greatest threat. Reza? How? In order to stop the comet, we will need as much power as possible. We reclaimed all the generators he stole. Besides, how could a few of them be enough to make a difference for something like this? Don't forget that Reza is still out there, looking for more. The truth is, I don't know if all the generators we could gather would ever be enough. This guy's fishy. I mean, he tells a story, but how can we tell if he's lying or not? We only require enough power to divert the comet's path during a crucial moment. But even if this plan is possible, we'll need every single generator we can get. So my goal hasn't changed. I just need to find Reza. Yes, but you'll need my help, and maybe the help of others. You know that Reza is dangerous, and with his gun, he has a clear advantage. Don't think that he would hesitate to kill you if you're in his way. Then what shall we do? Do you know where he is? No, but I think you'll find him soon, and you can count on my support when that happens. I see. There's one thing that still doesn't make sense to me, though. The dragons have myths about you, but they don't know or remember you. They haven't seen any humans for who knows how long. How much time could have passed since you created them, now? How many generations could it take to forget? Why isn't there proof of your existence? I don't know exactly how long it's been myself, and I realized what time period I was in and that my creation was about to be wiped out in the future. I wanted to go to that future and see what they'd become. I disabled the portal's time access safeguards, and thus enabled it to connect with others in different times. This also included that very same portal in the future. With the generator of our lab being able to supply the portal with power for an indefinite amount of time, I was able to travel to any point in the future I wanted to. The entry and endpoint of the black hole would be the same place in the same portal, with the way travelled being just along the time axis. Oh. Since I could now search for connection points in any time period, I could look for my own portal in the future and pinpoint the moment its signal stopped. The comet. Exactly. I found that specific point in time and travelled to a future that was as close to that event as I could safely manage. After I arrived here, my escape from the portal's hiding place led to its discovery by the dragons. It and the laboratory were unearthed. I still don't understand how our portal found yours or why we ended up arriving at this particular time period. The portal you found was no doubt one of my company's. They must have been connected before, so the corresponding data for their connection already exists when you found it. I'm not sure if that could bypass the anti-time travel safeguards though. Was it completely operational when you found it? No, it took a little bit of tinkering, probably jumping the hardware safeguard in the process. I consider that connected portals travel along the time axis together. The data for their beginning and endpoints are adjusted automatically. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to transport anything from one place in the world to another without also sending it through time. Since these two portals must have been connected at some point, the corresponding data for the connection between those two portals already existed. When using the same connection without changing any of the data, this would mean that despite the time discrepancy between those two portals, time still progressed linearly for them. Not sure I understand. Let me try to rephrase that. The portal you found and my own share a connection. However, while the connection is locked to a certain place, which is wherever the portal is that very moment, it is not connected to a specific point in time. For us and the physical machines that are the portals, time passes linearly, and we can't do anything about that. However, for the black holes, this isn't the case. Just as their entry and endpoints can be in different places, they can also be in different times. In order to not send something through time when we just want to transport something from one portal to another, the portals are anchored together in such a way that the time data is automatically synchronized. Essentially, this means that ever since you traveled in this world, the same amount of time that has passed for you has also passed in the place where you came from. That makes sense. I see. So despite being in different time periods, time still passes linearly on both sides of the portals. Otherwise it would not have been possible for you to send messages back and forth to each other. If they were not synchronized, the portals on both sides would stay connected not only to a single point in space, but also to a single point in time, thus making proper two-way communication impossible. However, this is only possible through the connection that has already been forged. If we wanted to, we could also use our portal to send you back to your own time period, but to a moment before Riza even arrived here. That would mean there would be two of me, right? Wouldn't that cause a time paradox? I can only tell you that it would work. No one has studied time travel before though, so if there are any consequences, then I'm not sure of them. Most likely, an entirely new timeline would be created. There'd be a timeline without Yoshi altogether, and in the new one, there'll be two of you. Oh, wow. This is becoming way too complicated. I apologize. To come back to your original question, I'm not sure how much time passed between the time I left my newborn society and now. Yeah, long time and you got to this response finally. Since the portal was not designed for time travel, I have no way of knowing how the variables translated to our perception of time. It could have been thousands or even millions of years. How could the portal or even its power source still be operational after all this time? The portal receives its power from the generator in the lab. These units were fitted with the absolute best technology we had to offer. It was designed to provide sustainable power completely independently from any already existing network or power lines. It gains energy from many sources: sun rays, Earth's heat and movement, just to name a few. Keep in mind it had to power a whole laboratory and research station, while also providing the energy required for all of its inhabitants and the associated energy expenditures. Taking its power from Earth itself, a generator like this could continue providing power to the lab indefinitely. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single dinosaur since I arrived? Seems like the dragon society expanded over the whole continent. Many still hunt on their own for sustenance, and as such, the original species they were based on have mostly vanished, as in direct competition. Ours proved to be far superior. Also, they have probably taken measures against having big predators roam their cities or villages. Yet while the dragon population has increased tremendously, I found that by and large, their society as a whole has not changed much. Is that why everything here looks like it was made for humans? I suppose so. The learning program I initially used gave them knowledge about things and how to create them, and of course, those were only human inventions and designs. Did they never once stop to think that they should adjust how certain things look? A lot of the furniture and objects I've seen look very impractical for a dragon. I was surprised at that too, but I have an explanation for this phenomenon. Don't forget that their genome was designed by an AI program to make them into effective bioweapons. The idea was to have them indoctrinated at a young age. After reaching adolescence, their learning capacity would be greatly diminished. This resulted in subjects that would stay loyal and be unlikely to change their desired behaviors. Instincts also play a role. I imagine they are very much at odds with their learned behavior. Instincts in animals never change, and instinctual behaviors will always be there. If a given trait has been programmed into the genome as an instinct, it is not very likely to change, even through numerous generations. We can see the result of this here. While I initially made them learn a certain set of values and knowledge, I found that the expression of those ideas was hardly changed. And after I was gone, each new generation learned from its elders, and much of the initial knowledge and information was retained through all this time. Their genome as a whole did change, however, which was unavoidable over time. If they had been used as bioweapons as intended, they would have been nothing more than an army of identical clones. While I can see subtle changes in behaviors as a result, some traits are still very much present in them. They are content with what they have and don't strive for more. They are content with. They don't innovate or change, so technological breakthroughs or new inventions are a rarity. It's quite the opposite, really. They very much value tradition and their ways, which have not changed much in all these years. Alright, that's interesting. I see. How much time do we even have left to stop the comet? In a few weeks, the comet will pass the moon, and its gravity field will point the comet's trajectory toward Earth. This is when we will need to be ready. If we strike then, we only need to minimally affect its path in order for the comet to pass Earth safely. It won't be enough time for the inhabitants of this world to prepare if Riza steals our greatest assets. It's also all about Riza and the generators, isn't it? Indeed. By the way, I fixed the portal in case we needed to use it. Did you break it to prevent me from being sent away? No, that wasn't me. Riza better not use it to escape. Trust me, the portal is our greatest asset. I have programmed it with emergency coordinates. If you should find yourself in a hopeless situation and feel there's no other way out, go to the portal. I have made sure only you will be able to use it. I'll keep that in mind. So there might be like a choice later on to like leave if there's ever like an emergency or something. Oh, that's interesting. So what's your plan? What do we do now? I'll resume my work and you will continue yours. Find Riza. The administrator turned to leave. Wait, what's with all the secrecy? Why are you still wearing the mask? Why don't we pull our resources together and show me your hideout? Also, we have no idea where we are right now. Really think it would be better if you were completely frank with me? No, not now. A second later, the figure had already vanished into the darkness outside. When I followed, I realized that I wasn't sure how to get back to my apartment. Surrounded by trees in the blanket of night, it was hard to make out where I stood. It was scary. Oh, phew. After wandering through the underbrush, I realized that the lights on the horizon had to be coming from the village and made my way back. Thank goodness. I returned to my apartment without much trouble and looked out at the clock. I was surprised to see how much time had passed. Not having anything left to do for the day, I soon fell into a deep slumber. Huh. Seems there's nothing for me to do this morning. I guess they don't need me at the police department. Not that I mind. Yeah, finally a free day. Seems I got some messages. Let's see. Hello, this is Remy. I just wanted to remind you about the summer festival. It will start any day now, so I hope you can make it. It'd be nice to go there with you. I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I usually try to avoid the crowds. In any case, please let me know if you want to go. Summer festival, huh? Hey, it's me. Do you want to meet up again? I know you're busy, but the summer festival is coming up soon. I'm not saying we should go, but we certainly could if you want to. Pretty sure being honest would only lead to more massacres at this point. Yeah, perhaps. Oh no! Oh no! We have to choose someone, don't we? Oh no! I don't want to do this. I have to choose between Lorem and the fact that I've been going between people means that I have to choose one eventually, right? That makes sense. I did consider that. But it's only now that it's like becoming apparent that I have to. In any case, call me back when you hear this. You have 2 messages waiting for you. Achievement unlocked popular. Ooh. Oh no. Oh no. Is it because now there's only like one option, then after this it progresses to the next chapter? Yeah, I'll save after this one then. Because we've still got a bit of time. Oh no. Who do you think? I think Lorem's like the original character that we wanted to, you know, be with, right? So if we go through the next playthrough, maybe the next playthrough will just be with Remy instead. And then after that, I'll focus on figuring out the whole, like, Anna situation. And, who was the other one? Adine, as well. Right. Alright. Let's meet with Lorem. Oh, nighttime. Hey! Hey, Lorem. So this is where you live. You already got a glimpse when you delivered Reese's letter, remember? Yeah, but back then I didn't really notice anything. I was nervous. Why were you nervous? Well, there was the fact that I was going to speak to a human, plus I didn't know if you'd actually listen to what I had to say. And then I also wondered if I was going to remember everything I wanted to tell you. Or worse, if I'd get thrown out again, like when I talked to Reza. You actually talked to Reza? Oh, not really. He just took the letter I had for him and closed the door. But that was before you arrived here. Do you know who sent the letter? It came through the portal, so I assume it was from a human. Or what if he's getting guidance from like one of the humans back home, and like that's why he's... Oh, I don't know. Why can't we be friends? I see. By the way, did you hear about Ipsum? Apparently he's become a witness for a murder case. Yeah, I actually took a statement about that not too long ago. Really? Oh, does that mean that this has something to do with Reeza's disappearance? There's really no use denying it by this point. How long have you been helping the police anyway? Since the day of my arrival, really. Oh wow, guess that explains why you've been so busy. I imagine you can't talk about it though. Don't really care anymore. Besides, I think it's become common knowledge by this point. Trying to find Reza, right? Wasn't he your friend? Not sure I'd call him that. Still, he was supposed to be a partner in this. Now he's just gone. I'm more worried about what he's doing now. Even if we find him, this may put our diplomatic relationship in peril. I guess I shouldn't talk about stuff like that. Why not? It's no use worrying about things that I can't change. Right, just focus on the things you can. That's my philosophy. You know, it's a bit of a shame we didn't want to go to the festival. Huh? I already had my fair share of adventure the last time we met. Besides, I should probably lay low for now. Oh, so is this option just like staying around? And then we... Oh, I wonder if we go out to the festival, if we have gone out with, sorry, what's his name? Remy. You're right, the crowds would probably go crazy if they saw you. We could still watch the big fireworks show together though. You wouldn't even need to go to the festival grounds to do that. Sure, if you like. It only takes place at the end of the festival though. When's that? 3 days from now. You've been here a few minutes and already want to schedule our next get-together. Get-together? That's an odd way of phrasing it. Would you prefer it if I called it a date? I don't know. It just seems a bit odd to me, considering this all started with me begging you to meet me so I could draw pictures of you. We did that, and then we went treasure hunting, which was your way of saying thanks. What do you call what we are doing here now then? Dinner. I invited you for dinner. Good thing that we haven't told Lorem anything that's happened with Reza. I suppose so. I'm not seeing anything to eat here though. Right, that's because I wasn't sure about what's in the kitchen. Also don't know what you like, so let's just order something. There are a few places nearby. Do you have anything in mind? Not really in the mood to try something new. Sure, how about pizza? Sounds good. Hey, I love pizza. Alright, let's just call Pentoldi then. They already let us down the treasure hunt. Why do you think this will be different? They're the closest and I haven't ordered them from them in ages. Maybe for good reason, if they can't even get the treasure hunt right. I want to know what they do to their pizzas. It's just a pizza, Yoshi. How bad could it be? Cough cough explosions, killing Bryce and innocent bystanders, can't kidnapping people, cough cough. Yeah, Alright, if you want to vouch for Pentoli's, go ahead. Actually, I think I've got one of their menus here. Yep, here it is. Let's see, even their smallest pizza is going to be pretty big for me. We could share one. Sure, what toppings would you like? I think I'll go with salad. Seriously, salad and pizza, that's a new one, sounds interesting. Yeah, that's a new one, sounds interesting. Yeah. Interesting enough to try it. I'll look at the other options first. Alright, what would you like on your half? Get pepperoni. Grapes is an interesting choice. Salad. Pepperoni. Got it. I'll just place the order then. Go ahead. Oh, well, how fast was that? You just ordered it and then we're just like... okay. Lauren got up and walked to the door. From my place on the couch, I couldn't see anything, but I heard a bit of talking before he returned to me carrying the square box. The fly who just delivered this, I actually know her. I guess it's not unusual for you to know each other. Your jobs are pretty similar. I suppose. Some things never change in this town. Lauren opened the box and showed me the pizza we had ordered. Memories of days gone by raced through my head. Alright, let's get this party started. Don't we need more people for our party? With pizza, anything's a party. I love that attitude, that's amazing. I feel like I haven't had pizza like this in ages. What are you waiting for then? I took one of the slices. On its surface, there was an obvious layer of grease that was sure to stain anything it came in contact with. What do you think? It's been way too long. Guess you don't mind that we got Pentoli's now, huh? With these words, he grabbed one of the slices on his half and bit into it. After chewing a few times, his expression suddenly twisted into a scowl. Is something wrong? Now I remember why I haven't ordered from Pentoli's in a while. Their pizza sucks. It's not that bad. Maybe you just haven't had a good pizza to compare it to. Hey, it's still better than nothing. I suppose. By the way, how's your game coming along? I don't know. I feel like I've hit a wall. Why is that? Maybe I got in over my head, you know. The more progress I make, the more it becomes apparent that I'll need a lot more help than I thought. So far, you're the only one who's been working on this, right? Yep, but I'm starting to realize that it won't work out if I continue like this. Why not? It would never be done. If it was, it'd be very different from what I'd like it to be, so something needs to change. I suppose I'm just worried, because once you start involving other people, things get a lot more complicated. How so? I've always been the odd one out, so I'm not sure how well I could work with a team. You have to find people, work out how to pay them, and how to divide the work. I guess I'm just starting to realize what kind of investment this would actually be. You sound a lot more optimistic the last time we talked about this. Yeah, it's all fun and games when you're just thinking about ideas that you could turn into a game. Once you actually start working on it, it's a completely different story. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. At some point, it just becomes another job. That's right, like the way, like with me, writing stories, it's like, hey, fun ideas, and then suddenly it's just like, what? Isn't that what you expected? Of course it is, I knew it would be a lot of work, but I guess I'm just not sure if it's all worth it. That depends on why you're making it in the first place. Last time you said that you had nothing to lose either way. Well, maybe I was wrong about that. I do have something to lose. What's that? Myself. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do what is necessary to finish what I started. If you think about it, what's the worst that could happen? Investing a lot of time and money, only to end up with nothing in the end. I could end up disappointing those who play the game, those who collaborated with me, and lastly myself. That's what you're worried about. That's what being a creator is like. If you put tons of work and effort into something, you want people to like it, right? If that's not what's going to happen, why do it in the first place? I wonder if the creator of the game, or creators, not sure, but like if this went through their head when they were making this game as well, I can see why they'd think that. That's cool. You're not doing this for other people, are you? It's your game and your idea after all. Right, but you're not trying to cater to someone else, so what other people think is not important. Besides, what they think is outside of your control anyway. Just look at what happened with Pentoli's. Why do you think their pizza sucks? They probably cut a lot of corners during production and with the ingredients. They value quantity over quality and are only trying to get as many pizzas out as possible to satisfy demand. They're cheap, and the pizza tastes like it. Okay, but they're still in business, so this must be working out for them somehow. Even if you don't like it, they're offering something other people clearly want. They probably don't give a darn about whether or not you like their pizza. I'm sure they don't. They just give people what they want, and that's why they stay in business. Are you saying that I won't be successful if I don't cater to others? No, I'm saying that unless being successful is the goal, you don't need to cater to anyone else. Because if you did, you'd end up like Pentolis and you really would lose yourself. That makes a lot of sense. And become meta commentary? Indeed. Someone that likes to draw and build stuff in Minecraft or Dragon Quest builders, I can understand this. Hey Chip, welcome to the stream. It makes a lot of sense what's happening right now. I guess you have a point. So what if other people like their greasy pieces? That's not what you want to do. Certainly not. You said yourself that your philosophy is to focus on the things you can change, so what are your options here? A wise person once said, do or do not. There is no try. Not doing this has never been an option for me. And you make the most of it, and nothing else matters. I think you're right. I should just focus on getting things done as best as I can. Who knows? Maybe you were wrong about Pentolis. Maybe they're actually a big family restaurant with a rich tradition and history, and that's why people like them. No, I think it's just because they have cheap pizzas. Anyway, there's a good reason for my anxiety. I usually keep to myself, and that's always how I've worked best. If there's one thing that life has taught me, it's that people fear what they don't know. I guess that's an odd thing to say when humans are worshipped by many. Most of them don't actually know any humans. Not like I know you. Maybe I should rephrase that. People are afraid of what they don't understand. Very philosophical stuff going on now. I was bullied a lot when I was a kid. Aww. Is that what happened? A lot of these guys have like such tragic backstories. You know, it can be pretty tough when you're growing up and all the other kids are always bigger than you are. That's what I expected. Do or do not, sorry, but that actually is a try. Luckily, that was never a problem for me. Even in kindergarten, we got told not to make fun of our differences because of how different our species are. It's just odd that for a society that celebrates our differences, there are still things that are too different even for them. When I grew up and went to college, I thought that people would know better than to continue doing those horrible things, but I was ultimately proven wrong. Their bodies may have been those of adults, but their hearts had stayed in the same place they were a decade before. Working on my own has helped, but that is treating the symptom, not the cause of the problem. I can't always just run away, and I have to step into the limelight and brave the storm again if I want to finish this game. There's something about me that you don't know. In a way, I owe it to you to tell you, because you're gonna find out sooner or later anyway. When it happens, it should be on my terms rather than someone else's. Oh, this is the on-stream chat box is working, but man, so far what I've seen of this game, the writing is really good. Yeah. That's a good idea. Add it to your wish list. That's weird. Sorry about the chat. I don't know what's going on there. I suppose it's not that big of a thing, like, not as important here, but... I mean, I guess it is, because I'm talking to you guys, but like... Oh, I don't know, it's just annoying. I don't know why it's just, like, not working. Yeah, let's test. 2 hours out alone. That's kind of my school life in a nutshell, since I'm a year younger than everyone else in my class. Oh, really? Tough times. But we all get through them. Let's test. It's weird, I don't know why it's not coming up. Sorry about that. I'll see if I can figure it out sometime, guys. At the moment, I don't think it's too big of a deal though, right? You guys don't mind? Or do you want me to fix it now? So, what is Lauren referring to? What is it? I'm a hermaphrodite. I was born with both sets of sex organs, and before you ask, that is not something that is at all common in any of our dragon species. What's on hate you or don't like you for that? In the eyes of some, that makes me a freak of nature, something that needs fixing or shouldn't exist in the first place. Get out, my gosh, imagine if you said that. I'd hate that. Oh my gosh, that is such a horrible option. I don't mind. What? Get out? Who would Of course, it's a game. It has to have that option because that's how games work. Oh, it started working? Nice. Okay, cool. I don't mind. You don't? Sure, some people may think that it's odd, but I don't really care. It's just another part of who you are. Thank you. Oh, that's such a big relief. You know, it's not always the bullies who go after me once saying no. Too often, it's also been people who I thought were my friends. Really. So whenever I meet another person, I have to prepare myself for this conversation, not knowing whether they will suddenly turn against me when they find out. Right, and that's why it's so hard to find people. Even in real life, this is so applicable. You tell someone something, and I haven't faced the struggle, but I've heard of many people, they tell people something, and poof. Well, you're not my friend anymore. I know, it's really, really sad. Just when they say that it gets fixed, that's great. Man, if someone said get out, I know, that, ugh, my gosh. And the reactions can be very different. Some get angry or make fun of me, others feel betrayed and don't want to have anything to do with me anymore. But I'm guessing Ipsum is like a friend that's just like stuck with him no matter what. But at least it's got him, right? By now, I think I've seen it all. I'm so glad that you're not like them, but it's always a gamble. Maybe the next person I tell is going to become violent. How can I put myself out there when this could happen wherever I go, you know what I mean? What will people do when they find out about me and my game? I just don't know. That's what I'm worried about. That's definitely something I can see people getting worried about. I only wish there was a place where I could be safe from all of that, where it just wouldn't matter that this is who I am. If someone like you, someone in a place of authority, said something, maybe that could change things. I know you can't interfere with our politics though, you're an ambassador. Doesn't mean I don't have hope that something like that will happen one day. I should probably go now, it's getting late. Oh, alright. You made me feel a lot better though. Well, glad to hear that. Why would you dislike someone because of one thing? Just, I don't know. You should be able to accept your friend's misfortunes. It's just some people in the world. You told me not to worry about the future, and maybe you're right. I got to think, didn't I? Sure, there's still a lot of work ahead, but maybe it's not as hopeless as I thought. So wait, what's that? Quick load. Oh, that's what it is. Okay. It never is. Hey, do you still want to see the fireworks show together? Sure. Right, just give me a call in a few days so we can discuss the details. I'll do that. Right, I'll see you then. See ya. Aww. Well, that's something. Not a free day? Yay me. Yay me. Oh. Oh, so you don't have the option anymore. It, like, the game just closes you off from meeting anyone else. Wow. It also does not give me the option to, like, to do the other. Oh no, that's literally what happened. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is really, 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 really bad. Oh no, the game's been like, oh, you abandoned him. It's abandoned. It's bad. It's bad. So I wonder if the more positive way to play through it, like if this will come into effect later, like, oh, I trusted you or something. It's like, well, guess what? Okay. That like that kind of thing. I wonder if you would think that. Because if I'd just gone through a neutral playthrough with everyone except for one person, would it have just not ended up impacting the relationship? That's the question here. Because I feel really bad about this. This is one antisocial day, right? Oh no, abandoned status. Yeah. Well, there we go. I think I should get some rest, right? We don't want to pass out again. This is becoming tragic. This is... In the end, I decided to spend the day relaxing in my apartment. I didn't know when things would start to pick up again, so I figured it would be better to get some rest as long as I still could. Alright. I feel so bad for Remy. Don't worry, Remy. Oh! Chapter 5 already. Oh jeez. I better end off soon then. Conflict. Oh. Oh. If there is a point where I can like save as soon as I can, then I'll save. Yeah, here? Yes? Or is there gonna be an event? Oh my gosh. Let's stop now. After a night of turbulent dreams, my consciousness returned to the shores of the waking world. I think we can just leave it here then. Because, right? Like, this is a place where we can leave it. Alright, so that is... So save. Overwrite save. Did I just spoil the game? Uh, 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 um, don't tell me everyone else dies. Game, you better not be telling me that something happened to the rest of these people, because they... Okay. This game better not be telling me they're dead. It better be telling me that they're just, like, out of the story or something. Like, that's it. We will find out what happened tomorrow, because this... Oh my gosh, it better not be... What's the YouTube LP videos of this LP since I've missed quite a few by now? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea then. I'm guessing like the best playthrough you could go through is just like having like a kind of just good standard with everyone, just being like good with each of the characters. So just like visiting each of them once, just so you can like get to know them a little bit. I suppose that's the best way to get through the game. But for now, we'll kind of better not have just written them out of the story game. Alright, so we won't go any further into this because there's already been a lot that's happened. We've had another murder. We got Bryce killed, and like, it's enough. We can't take it anymore. So we saved here, right? Chapter 5. Yeah. Wow. Just wow. What if there's like post-game stuff? So like once you finish like a run or something, there'll be like specific images for how the turnout is or something. Tomorrow we have to get back into this. This is super exciting and intense and sad and tragic and just so many emotions right now. This game has been amazing. I don't know, when I went into this I had no idea what to expect. But seeing it now, it's like, there's a lot of emotions. A lot of feels coming through at the moment. Alright. So hopefully you guys can join me tomorrow as we continue on this. What even is it? Is it still even like an adventure or something? I see Yoshi, I'm gonna go have cute carcoon plastered everywhere in Puyo Chronicles. I don't want to be sad. Shh, shh, shh. Let's not assume they're dead yet. Let's just assume nothing has happened yet. Maybe their statuses just don't load until like later into the chapter or something. Because we like the game doesn't. No, but then his arm is still. We'll find out tomorrow. Okay. Okay. For now though, as always, thank you all for watching. Thanks for joining the ride. It's been a very enjoyable game so far. So, everything that's happened now, it's like, you know, you guys have accompanied me throughout like the whole thing. So, hopefully you can keep coming along for the ride tomorrow. At least, you know, I'd expect tomorrow to be the next day because I don't think I'll have too much homework or anything, so we can continue. But yeah, I'll see you then, or at least another time soon, hopefully. But for now, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Love you guys as always. Have a good rest of the day or night. And I'll see you all soon. Bye!